Hey, what's up, folks? Stu Myrick, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the horn. Hope you're having a good week. Justin Smash Simmons is out of town calling a basketball game. He may be in town, but he's got play-by-play duties anyway tonight. So Eddie Cross from Fight Night is going to join me, hopefully very soon. Hope everybody had a good week. It's been a pretty good week. Besides the Cowboys losing one and done in the NFL playoffs, they just could not get anything done against the 49ers. But there's always next year. And Cowboys fans. The delusional ones will always say that next year. It'll happen next year. And those of us that have lived through this for a long time and we understand, it's like, all right, well, I guess next year they'll see what happens. And, of course, a lot of questions up in Dallas with Mike McCarthy, although I think most everybody believes he will still be the head coach in 2022. There's also Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's in the last year or next to last year of his contract before he becomes a free agent. We'll see. Anyway, we'll see what happens in the offseason. Still got playoffs to go. They got the divisional round this coming weekend. Good. There he is. What's up, Eddie? It's going. We're on Twitch, so come on in. Let me get Justin's headset out.
What's happening on NXT?
Not much. But you can sit it over here if you want. You sit on the table.
I always have a.
I know it's that whole unwritten rule about don't.
Yeah. Oh, it's written.
Well, okay, it's written.
There
Yeah,
are plenty of places it's written.
it's written. Yeah, but
Let me hit the phone
so. How was your week?
here. Very boring.
Yeah,
Yeah. Weekend, I didn't do much anything.
yeah. Okay,
So far this week, not much anything.
all right. You taped Fight Night last night, right?
Yep.
Because I got it.
Yep.
It's already ready to be uploaded and everything.
Yeah, Jordan was in a hurry. Had to go to Orlando, I believe.
Orlando.
Yeah, Cocoa Beach, actually. Flying into Orlando. Got a meeting in Cocoa Beach, something.
Okay. Well. Okay.
And
Sure.
His big question was whether or not he should rent a car or take an Uber to go to the beach. And his company was paying for either one.
So I'm thinking Uber.
Yeah. It's like an hour away.
Yeah.
Your company's paying for it.
Yeah.
And I know who he works
and
for.
you don't
They
have
got
to
the
worry
money.
about parking and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm
so.
like, they got the money.
Yeah.
They'll be all right.
I mean,
What is
when
he
I
wearing?
go out of town, so like, for Super Bowl, I go total Uber.
Yeah.
Uber and Lyft. I don't bother with a rental car because I don't have to worry about gas. I don't have to worry about parking. It usually ends up being cheaper anyway because I'm usually staying within 10, 15 minutes of the media center anyway. So,
So like UFC 271 is in Houston on Valentine's weekend, or the weekend before Valentine's.
Really?
Yeah. So I already put in my credential request, booked the hotel. But as you know, this place isn't paying for a thing.
Of course not. We're in radio.
Yeah. It's like, I will go to all the ones
Although
in Texas on my own dime just
that
because I get in free.
And
That's
that
all I get.
reminds me, I got to get a hold of Bucky Godbolt. He has somebody that may be helping me out at least with Super Bowl. So,
Oh, cool.
so anyway,
Like a nephew or something?
no, it's actually it's a usual sponsor.
Oh, cool.
So, and I think he
Sponsor? What's that?
may become the travel sponsor. I got to work that out with him. So,
I'll see if they're interested in Wednesday Warfare shows.
we'll see. I'm going to start with Super Bowl, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, just be.
I already got my first interview.
I'll say be really nice to them, like kiss up.
Yeah, I got my first interview set up.
Who's that?
Solomon Wilcots, who I talk to every year. He's great.
Defensive lineman.
Yep, and of course
Tampa
now
Bay?
does. I think so. It was years ago.
Yeah.
He's been in broadcasting for a while.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll talk to him on Wednesday, February 9th, I think,
Let me tell you
at
that.
noon. Usually it's him with another gentleman named David Schul, who's become a good friend. And it's usually something having to do with medical type things or health type things. So it'll be interesting,
Ask about the new helmets. I saw one of the, I think it was the 49ers offensive lineman, maybe the center, wearing a new type of kazoo helmet.
Yeah.
Like anti-concussion thing. It looked really weird, big frontal lobe.
Actually, there are a couple. Actually, I will also get. So, Believe Podcast Network, BLEAV.
Okay.
They have podcasts on everything, including wrestling. But they have three of their hosts I'm going to get sometime that week. One of them is Lofa Tupu, who was defensive end for the Seahawks back in the day. So I'll probably talk to him about that. I talked to Lofa a couple years ago in Miami. He was great. He was fantastic.
Yeah. It's surprising. A lot of, just so many commentators that you see on TV were defensive linemen or linebackers.
Oh, yeah.
And you would think, with their job being to basically run into a brick wall of an offensive lineman 70 times a game, they wouldn't be as articulate.
But they are.
Yeah.
They very much are. You're right. So, yeah, we got NXT on the TV screen. It's the first of the quarterfinal matches for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Creed Brothers taking on Briggs and Jensen. Gotta believe Creed Brothers are going to go over on this one.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
But in my head, if I don't see them, I get these two tag teams mixed up.
I just know they're the Creed Brothers because they're wearing the Diamond Mine tights.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I don't see them, you say me which one's the Creed Brothers, which one's Briggs and Jensen. I'm like, I don't know.
And I don't know which one's Briggs and which one's Jensen yet. So
I just don't know why they haven't done a JB and BJ thing yet. Too much like a radio show.
Yeah,
JB and the Beach.
What are we? AOR here? We doing album rock?
My radio jackassery doesn't stop.
Oh man,
my show's over.
And we're gonna have Volta tonight.
Nice.
Taking on Roderick Strong.
Actually,
the only wrestler ever to land in my lap.
Roderick?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was at he was still in Ring of Honor. It was Supercard of Honor in 2016. My first live ROH event up in Dallas. And he had a rivalry with, I think it was Bobby Fish. And he jumped out of the ring, and I was sitting in the front row, and there he comes, landing in my lap. He leans back. He goes, "Hey, you okay?" I said, "Yeah, man, you good." That was it,
Never washing these pants.
That's it. So
I once had Kane almost throw a little person on me.
Oh, nice.
When I was working at the Irwin Center.
Nice.
Incidentally, Kane actually stepped on my brother during a hardcore title match at WrestleMania, whatever it was, at the Astrodome.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good.
He went down to the floor to take pictures.
Yeah.
And they were fighting towards the back. Steps on his foot.
Dude, look, photography, ringside photography is no joke.
It is dangerous out there.
I give all the credit to guys like Bill Apter and George. What was his name? Damn it. He's a good friend, and I can't think of his last name. Oh, man.
Well, let me save you for a second. And I know.
But anyway, they because you're having, you're trying to take the picture, trying to get that good shot, but at the same time, you're dodging the action.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there've been some phenomenal MMA photographers.
Napolitano, George Napolitano.
There you go. See, I saved you. Led by the Esther Lynn, who was with MMA fighting.
Oh yeah.
But they don't have to worry about people falling onto them.
Right, because you got that cage, so
Yeah.
at least they're there. You know, the all that's separating you from the action in wrestling are those 3 ropes.
Yeah. And
So
they're not meant to hold things in. They're meant to bounce things back.
I mean, I've done a little bit of ringside photography for a few independent shows, and dude, that's a whole different experience.
You need hazard pay.
You do. You really do. So,
Oh, he is going nuts.
yeah. Oh, that's Malcolm Bivens,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Stokely Hathaway. Creed brothers getting the win, so they advance.
I still think
So
Diamond Mine is a
The
horrible.
winners get not only win the Dusty Cup, but they get a tag title shot
Against
right
Imperium.
now against Imperium.
Yeah, I ended up watching NXT UK
Eichner and
for
Bartel.
some reason last week.
Did you?
Yeah, so I saw Walter's last match in
Yeah.
the UK.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to actually do a job
No,
on the way out, but no,
no.
nothing.
So
It was a good match, though. I can't remember.
we'll
the
see
kid
how
who-
long he lasts in NXT before they put him on the main roster.
Dude.
Because I gotta imagine they are itching to
Yeah,
get him on the
Imperium
main roster.
is a main roster faction.
Oh God, yeah.
And of course, you know, Vince loves to do the anti-American thing.
He does.
And
he
now
does. Well, but it's not so much anti-American. It's just they're just
Well, yeah, but, you know, when Vince gets his hands on him,
right.
he's
So,
going to put him in a flag or something.
yeah. That
All of a sudden, he'll be Austrian, he'll be German. Or
Ooh, one of the Creed brothers got bloodied a little bit.
he's got a big head.
Do. So it's going to be Creed brothers against either Grizzly Young Veterans or Andre Chase and Bodie Hayward.
Jagged Time is just a weird name.
It is odd, and I'm but I'm look, Kushida's always going to be one half of the time splitters.
Yeah, it's a
with
perfect.
Alex Shelley. So
It's a good name for them.
It is. It is.
And what do they have in common? Weird jackets.
Actually, just one of them wears a jacket. So
Well, it's a vest. So yeah,
well, he wears the vest.
Can't say
He's always
jackets and
worn the
vests.
vest because
Yeah.
it's the Back to the Future.
but I mean, you
gimmick.
can't say jackets and vests. That's just even
Right.
worse.
So, all right, let's do this
Just call
thing.
them outerwear.
Outerwear. All right, let's do this thing.
This is Jake the Snake Roberts, you know that Hall of Famer. And you're listening to the sports guys talking wrestling or any damn thing else they want to.
When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling.
It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Now, here's Stu Myrick.
It is Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the horn. Stu Myrick. Justin Smash Simmons is off taking care of play-by-play duty, so in his place, fresh off of his gig on Fight Night, it is Eddie Cross. Hi, Eddie.
How's it going, Stu?
It's going.
Have you seen Justin's new mustache?
That
That is the appropriate reaction.
boy, that is scary.
Yeah, at
I
least
have
he
not
knows
seen the new one. I have seen him with something trying to be a mustache, or at least a dirty lip.
It's growing out there, man.
Oh,
It's-
boy.
it's getting there.
All right, well, we'll have to check that out next week.
Good thing he's
so.
on radio.
How's your week been so far? I know it's early, but
Early and slow.
hey,
So
slow's okay. Slow is okay.
I can't complain.
Yeah,
Still getting paid.
still getting paid.
Gone through 2 years of pandemic with a steady paycheck.
I can't believe it. We are 2 months shy of 2 years.
Remember the first time the
This
station
was
shut
supposed-
down? That
This
me.
was supposed to be over in like a couple weeks.
We won't listen. They say stay home. We're like, well, I'm not gonna. You can't tell me what to do. Then we're like, hey, how come I can't go to a football game? How come my kids can't go to school? Because you won't effing listen.
Man.
Now we're still dealing with this.
Now, yeah, 2 years later. So, it's been an interesting week in wrestling. We will start off with, I guess, a couple of the big stories. WWE announced that their Elimination Chamber pay-per-view premium live event
Get it right.
will be held in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia,
That's huge.
on February 19th. So we are now taking one of the pay-per-views, one of the usual pay-per-views to Saudi.
Now, I don't care where they have the pay-per-views, the PLEs, sorry. My question that immediately comes to mind is, will there get to be a women's Elimination Chamber match?
That's a good question.
I know the women have to cover up more over there.
Yeah, that's
Are they okay with the amount of violence that could come from a women's Elimination Chamber match?
Yeah, that's a good question. So they released a press release on Monday. I mean, it's a couple lines, just simply. The General Entertainment Authority, in cooperation with WWE, has announced the Elimination Chamber will be held at the Jeddah Superdome, the world's largest pillarless Superdome, on Saturday, February 19th, 2022. More details of the event will be announced in the coming weeks. Will they have a women's Elimination Chamber match? That's a big question.
I only ask the tough questions, Stu.
Because we've seen them hold a women's match or two the last couple times.
Mm-hmm. It's like one per event or something.
Yeah. So,
I don't think they usually bring that many women to.
Well, no, because again, you only have one or two matches, so no need to bring them.
I mean, isn't there an issue amongst the women about just going there because of the restrictions on them?
I think that's part of it.
There?
I think that's part of it.
So
I mean,
but
then
get enough
again,
people
you got
to participate.
You got several of the guys on the roster that don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, usually. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, could you even get 5 or 6 women that want to participate in the Elimination Chamber to go there?
See, that's going to be another issue. Is so you're taking one of your, I'm not going to say signature events, but it's definitely one you hold every year, usually just at some arena in the U.S., and you're taking it to Saudi Arabia. So
it's not one of the big four, but it's definitely
they're going to have to plan it around those that are willing to go to Saudi Arabia.
Right.
And by the way, still worrying about they still got to work towards WrestleMania.
Yeah, and not only are there the religious issues and the sexism issues. You got people that just don't want to go that far and don't want to deal with COVID.
Right.
Going that far. Yeah. So how many people will go there for this event in the first place?
I mean, at least it's on a Saturday, so you're not worried about.
That's messing me up.
Yeah, but at least you don't have to worry about getting people back in time for a SmackDown or something like that.
Well, sure,
it's going to make the SmackDown the night before interesting, because again, you got to have people over there, so they're probably going to have to fly out that Friday.
Right.
So that means your SmackDown's going to be probably bare bones. And by the way,
or if not just taped.
Yeah, it could be taped as well. Now it's kind of fun because February 19th, that's the next to last day of the Winter Olympics in Beijing. Of course, NBC and its sorted networks will be covering the Winter Olympics. We've been seeing the promos with Terry Crews talking about different athletes.
Yeah.
Kicking off February 3rd. We'll see. That's going to mean February, one of those networks is USA. Especially now that NBC Sports Network is no longer around.
Right.
USA has picked up a lot of the sports properties. Premier League is supposed to run some of the NASCAR races.
They had college basketball on this past weekend.
They had college basketball on. Well, they're going to be one of the networks that you will see Olympic events on. That includes Monday, February 7th, and Monday, February 14th. Well, here's the problem. There's Monday Night Raw.
That's right.
So guess what? Monday Night Raw, for those 2 weeks, goes to Sci-Fi. So,
yeah.
And I would assume, they didn't mention it, but I would assume that also means NXT on Tuesday nights.
Hopefully
we'll also
they're
go
saying
to
this
Sci-Fi.
as we're not listening to it, and they're just letting us know.
Yeah.
Well,
So
But back to this thing.
So you could tape it. I could see where you could tape a SmackDown, say, after a Raw or something like that.
Or maybe just have a Wednesday live event and move the whole big thing to
Could.
Wednesday.
They
Tape it.
could.
But either way, it's a big change.
It is a big change.
And moving to Saturdays messes me up. Because number one, it gives me less to do on those Sunday nights that the pay-per-views used to be on.
Yeah.
But number
true.
two, now it's going head-to-head against the UFC.
That's also true.
That is not cool, man.
Oh, wait, February 19th, that's a UFC event?
There's UFC events February 19th. Rafael Dos Anjos versus Rafael Fiziev. It's actually a pretty fire event.
Is it
guys
a
are-
pay-per-view or
No,
is
it's not
it
a pay-per-view.
just like a fight night?
Yeah.
Okay.
The week before, on a Saturday night, there's a UFC 271 at the Toyota Center in Houston.
Okay. Interesting. Well, you see, and that's going to be that's an interesting question. You mentioned about messing up. We're seeing WWE. Their last 2 or 3 premium live events have been on Saturdays. AEW has ran at least one on a Saturday, rather than on the traditional Sunday night. You wonder how that will change people's viewing habits. Because in a way, I like it. In a way, it's kind of like, I don't know what to think.
Well, let's not forget there's also playoff football going on right now too.
Well, yeah. Now, let's after this, February 19th. That's after the Super
Well, the
Bowl.
Royal Rumble is on the 29th. That's a Saturday too.
That's a Saturday.
It's also the
That would be
that messes me up personally.
that would be the conference
Is
championships.
that conference championships?
AFC,
so those are supposed to be
NFC.
on Sundays then.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, it's okay. But later on, what happens in the fall? College football
And
UFC.
here's the thing
and now
though.
WWE.
You and I both work for the Horn. We're the flagship for the Texas Longhorns. As much as we pretend, college football is still mostly a regional type attraction.
Yeah, but there's a lot of crossover in the.
There is
demographic.
quite a bit of crossover. You could see, say, Texas and Bama, which is going to happen in 2023.
No, this year.
Oh, that's right.
It's
this
happening
year.
this fall.
Okay,
This
so
fall
Texas,
here.
Bama. There you go.
Yeah.
There's one. So there's going to be some conflict as far as like what to watch and all that good stuff.
Well, the good thing is for them, they have the flexibility since it's just on Peacock. They can put it on Saturday or they can put it on Sunday if they want to.
Well,
They just give us a date.
it
We
has.
say-
It
we
also
mark
has to do
down.
with when they can book the building too.
True.
So,
Now, are they thinking that far in advance? Going, hey, maybe we shouldn't go head-to-head against college football? No, they're not. I guarantee they're not.
okay, if then they would go up against Sunday Night Football. So,
But
yeah.
usually, see, the NFL, like you said, I think the NFL is more regionalized than college football.
it is to an extent
Because if it's the Chargers and the Chiefs,
nobody.
don't make the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is too big a star.
Right.
Say it's the Chargers and the Broncos.
Yeah,
I mean, you got
it's West
you got
Coast.
one city and a tenth of LA.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
no
got
big deal.
and it's West Coast.
Yeah.
So
But even if you put Jacksonville,
right.
against Denver,
I mean, we'll see what
I was worried
happens.
about that
We'll see how they develop this. You still got Royal Rumble in a couple weeks. Well, actually, less than 2 weeks.
actually being on a Saturday screws me up again because my buddy's band is playing Antones that night. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, Royal Rumble Saturday, January 29th.
Yes. 88 Project
was it
live at
the
Antones.
Dome. What do they call it? The Dome at America Center in St. Louis. My buddy Joe Roderick, who used to host Road Warrior Animals podcast, he was talking to me about that a little bit. He and I are going to be together at the Super Bowl. So, one other bit of news: Mustafa Ali has requested his release from WWE.
I don't
Now,
blame him. He hasn't been used much lately.
As of now, this is being recorded on Tuesday night. We have not heard whether they have granted the release or not. However, it does seem that they are probably going to, based on their previous history. Toni Storm wanted release. She got her release.
They haven't had a problem with these budget cuts. I'm doing finger quotes here.
Yes.
You can't see me.
Right.
So someone wants out. Be surprised that they take more than a day.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they're probably going to grant him his release. He mentioned that there were things he wanted to do. It's not clear, or it's not very clear how much of it's going to involve pro wrestling. Mm-hmm. I mean, he could, if he stays in pro wrestling, he could, find a nice spot in AEW, Impact, Major League Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
You name it. I do wonder how much AEW will want to sign him, considering how big their roster is right now.
And how many of them are exactly his size.
Right. So we'll see.
I saw something, I'm not sure how true it is, that there was some dispute about, I guess, his next gimmick. Like, he didn't want to do
Ali's? Yeah, something. Yeah, there's... if you believe the rumor, there were reports, and I want to say it was PW Insider. It may have been a couple others or Fightful. That apparently he had at least a disagreement, if not a flat-out argument with Vince McMahon over where his gimmick was going or his next gimmick or whatever.
Did Vince want him to do like an anti-American thing, or
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me, but
it'd make him a huge heel. But I don't see how
it wouldn't make. I don't think it'd make him that big of a heel.
It depends on how insulting you are. Because I can see not wanting to do that personally.
I'll be honest. I think the stink of Retribution was still on him a little bit.
Yeah, that thing stunk from the beginning.
Oh man, that was bad. That was bad. So anyway,
who's like
best? I mean, I hope Mustafa Ali, whatever happens, I'm one of the best from. I got to see him. It was one of the Wrestle Circus shows. Him and Sammy Guevara.
Ooh.
That was a hell of a match. It was a hell of a match. He was awesome. So, SmackDown.
Okay, don't wear shirts with your picture on
it. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins have their face-off. And throughout the night, they were playing clips from when they were in the Shield, and they were even able to show Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley. But they had the face-off, and then Usos come out and try to attack Seth, and Seth escapes, throws one of them in the steps, and then heads off. And I'm going to ask the same thing I asked Justin last week. Roman's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Seth's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I root for?
That is a great question. Have the same question with Doudrop and
Becky Lynch?
Yeah, Becky Lynch.
Yeah, that one I don't get either. I get that one even less, actually. Doudrop has been losing like crazy, and then all of a sudden she's a number one contender.
Yeah. That one, at least I know they're only half-heartedly trying to make Becky a heel.
Yeah.
They're changing her character like just a little bit to where you can see they're trying, but they're not really trying.
Yeah.
Doudrop,
I guess.
she's gone full heel.
She has, but it's.
But
I don't know. I'm not. And I know she has been a heel in NXT UK and on the British independent scene, and Piper Niven.
Yeah. It's hard to take her seriously named Doudrop.
Yeah. It's big part of it's the name.
Yeah. I thought that they were kind of teasing towards that on Monday when Becky said something like, you didn't even name yourself, and they're going after the name. I was like, ooh, they're going after the name. Maybe she's going to go back.
Maybe. I don't know.
Not yet.
Or maybe it'll be a different something, a derivative of it, so that she can keep Piper Niven for when she does leave WWE, because she will.
Yeah. Oh.
And she'll go back to the independents or something.
So I'm thinking Seth is the face in this face-off.
I guess. I don't know. There was a little bit of talk about how Roman was getting cheered at a house show or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's confusing, but at least it's a big event.
Viking Raiders win a fatal 4-way, so
Oakland.
they'll get the next shot at the Usos and their SmackDown tag titles.
In Minnesota, Oakland.
The who? What?
Minnesota.
Oakland. Minnesota.
Yeah. It's about time.
I saw it was actually in the last couple days popped up in my Facebook memories the day that the team then known as War Machine, signed with WWE. Of course, it was Big Splash, former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, former IWGP Tag Team Champions. So that was, of course, we knew, Ray Rose, friend of ours. We knew Ray. So
it's like, when will Vince just let them do their thing?
Oh, Vince won't.
Maybe now, finally.
And I'm pretty sure they, I'm sure they're probably happy where they are. They're getting paid well, and Ray's got his son with Sarah, and so hey.
Right. But if you're not being used enough or properly in WWE, it's never really comfortable, is it?
I know. So,
and like, if they had been released in the last year, I wouldn't have been shocked.
So they announced next week
I've been upset.
on Monday Night Raw, Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar will have a weigh-in in advance of their match at the Royal Rumble.
They apparently haven't watched AEW.
I know the weigh-ins. Did you see what was it? I guess it was on Road to the Top, where they were having a problem with the scale or something when they had Anthony Ogogo on there when they did that weigh-in last year for.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Was it?
I don't remember which event it was.
Double or Nothing, I think. Obviously these things, you're gonna have some sort of conflict and yada yada yada.
Right.
How upset were you that Lashley and Rollins Monday night ended in a disqualification?
Not at all. Because really, if they're both fighting for the title, you can't have one look weak right now.
Yeah.
I mean, unless one was Big E, and then they would definitely make him look weak.
But
you got a monster in the almighty Bobby Lashley. You've got Seth freaking Rollins, who's so big that they added freaking to his name, and they have him fighting for a championship on the other show. So how are you going to make either one of them look weak?
I'll be honest. Look, Monday Night Raw this week, it was not. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of just there.
Yeah,
it was a placeholder.
I fast forwarded through a lot of it.
So it was kind of like I can't get too upset because it's just whatever. Apparently, people, in the Twitterverse, God bless them.
Oh.
Apparently, the Twitterverse got all up in arms that it was ended in a non-finish, which is kind of like, okay, it's WWE.
Like, have
they
you
do that.
been watching for the last 35 years? That's what happens.
Exactly. Oh, and by the way, Veer still coming to Raw. I mean, he has been taking the slow boat from China on this thing.
I mean, if the guy needs to be, put him in NXT for a while and just stop playing around. If he needs to develop, put him in the developmental territory.
Well, but that's the thing. So, yeah, because they've had him coming to Raw for the last 3 months.
You know what you do? You team him up with AJ Styles, have him be the new Colossus.
To fight Omos.
Yeah, bring him along slowly. Yeah.
I swear, that's been a running joke.
I mean, I don't know why you break him apart from his group in the first place.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I mean
Shanky has fought
Jinder
more
and
than
Shanky, they haven't done much better.
They haven't,
but at least we've seen them
exactly
in the ring.
I mean, why would you take Veer away from Jinder and Shanky unless he was ready to stand
for
on
the
his
same
own?
reason you want to split Big E from the New Day?
If you're ready to stand on your own, okay. If you've never had a match or given a promo,
I think
it makes no sense.
And see, that's the thing. I think Big E could have stood on his own while still being with the New Day. But
exactly.
Hey,
I
what
agree.
do I know?
Like, did Ric Flair need the Four Horsemen? No,
but it was
them.
Yeah, he had them, and it was good.
Yeah.
It was good storytelling.
That's why he could have kept Big E with the
because you had the faction going up against Dusty and then Nikita Koloff and Sting and the Road Warriors and all that good stuff.
Could have kept Lashley with the Hurt Business.
Yeah. So
at some point they're going to have Walter turn on the whole Imperium just because Vince can only have one faction at a time. Apparently, I don't know.
Or they're going to put Walter on the main roster and keep Eichner and Bartel in NXT
until at some point he needs someone to
Which
run
is possible. It's possible. Yeah.
They're going to screw it up basically.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hunter needs to get healed up completely and take the reins from the old man. It's kind of like the
Problem
Dallas
is,
Cowboys.
See, that's the thing. I don't think. See, and that we were talking about last week was where has Hunter been? I know he's been, he's apparently, I guess he's still recovering from his heart issue.
Well, it does take a while.
It does take a while, but I mean, while he has been gone, they have basically dismantled NXT.
Yeah, but mentally he should still be in like meetings and stuff. But physically, I understand not being there, but mentally,
Yeah. But
still
now
be
it's
around, but-
you got none of Hunter's folks in NXT. They have basically wiped it clean.
completely.
It is now being booked like Raw and SmackDown. So I don't know. It's silly to be sure. So
At least it means that when they bring them up, they'll be less likely to be misused.
maybe. We got to take a quick time out. When we come back, we're going to hit MLW coming to Dallas as well as the latest in AEW. That's coming up next on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. All right, so you got Wendy Chu going from the creepy Tian Shay or whatever to the girl in the onesie, and I don't get it.
They're trying to pull an orange.
They're trying to mimic Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
It's not working. It's not even close.
I didn't say it was going to be good.
Orange Cassidy does not wear pajamas.
No.
That's the thing.
Well,
Orange Cassidy's organic.
Yeah, Vince can't do anything organically like that. If someone came to him with an idea, he would just shoot it down because it wasn't over the top enough to sell stuff to the kids. But now they can market Wendy Chu pajamas and sell those on WWE Shop.
But still, I don't know.
But
You
you see,
shake your head.
she's on one match, and she does a thing where she's like laying down, then all of a sudden she explodes and is actually a good wrestler. I'm like, it's Orange Cassidy. Just forced.
Well, Nathan Chen coming to the Winter Olympics, February 3rd on NBC and Peacock.
I'm looking forward to the ski jumping.
Peacock's going to hold the opening ceremonies live at like 6 a.m. on February. It's actually February 4th, technically.
Guarantees that I won't see them.
So, they'll have them like the proper broadcast that night on NBC.
I probably still won't watch it.
I'll watch. I like the opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies, so I'll
It's too
watch. Where's I think Italy gets the games in 2026.
Nice.
I think they get the winter games in 2026. 2024 summer games are Paris, 2028 Los Angeles.
Check you out.
I think. So.
Wait, where are they going to have the track in Los Angeles?
Do what?
I'm wondering where the track events are going to be in LA.
Olympic Stadium? Olympic Coliseum?
There's no track right now, but I mean they're putting in a
They could
track.
lay one down.
I mean they're doing it for NASCAR.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So.
Which is also weird.
Yeah. All right, let's do number
Those
2.
turns are going to be horrible.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I don't even know anything about NASCAR. I'm like, ooh, bad. I ran across this place online that sells replica title belts, and they got a desktop version of the Big Gold.
Oh, nice.
Like to where like the main plate will fit in your hand.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's probably about that big, I guess.
Nice.
It's like $125. I'm like, I shouldn't.
That's not so nice.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
The real
Segment 2.
The real replicas are like $300. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna do that.
Back on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Stu Myrick, Eddie Cross from Fight Night joining me. Before we get to AEW, Major League Wrestling is heading to Dallas this Friday night.
Sweet.
They're going to be at Gillies in Dallas for Blood and Thunder.
Great name.
Among the matches on the card, Alexander Hammerstone will defend the MLW World Heavyweight title against Pagano. So it's there's going to be quite a bit of Lucha Libre on this card. So they're going to have Pagano to go up against Hammerstone for the world title. You got and they were promoting this earlier, the first time in 40 years since Kerry won the title. The Von Erichs will go after a world title. They will challenge 5150 for the world tag team titles.
40 years.
Yeah, 1984 was the last Kerry.
Kerry and Kevin?
No, it was Kerry and Rick.
Wow.
Kerry and Rick for the world title, for the NWA world title.
Rick.
So Ross and Marshall Von Erich will take on 5150 for the world tag team titles. You got Jacob Fatu taking on Mads Kruger. The decimation the decimation of Contra continues. You got a triple threat match for the World Middleweight Championship. Myron Reed and a mystery opponent will challenge the current World Middleweight Champion Tajiri, the Japanese buzzsaw.
Can't tell you how much I love that they have a middleweight title.
Oh, yeah. You got David Richards taking on ACH. That'll be a hell of a match. King Muertes will be there, the former Mil Muertes from Lucha Underground.
Nice.
You also got Alex Kane defending the national openweight title against Calvin Tankman. You have the former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Roxy facing off against Miranda Gordy. Wouldn't be Dallas without having a Freebird influence.
Tell me how we can watch this.
They are taping this, so we will see it the next several weeks on MLW's. I think it's on Vice, it's on BN Sports, and on YouTube. I think they did.
I don't think it's
maybe not. I know it's going to be a BN Sports. It's on their YouTube channel. But that'll be this Friday night at Gillies. Bell time is 7:00. You can find out more information and get tickets at MLWDallas.com.
You going?
I am not going. That's. I know, but it's not going this time. But should be a hell of a card.
Well, I hear they might have some inclement weather there later this week.
That too.
I understand.
AEW is heading back to Texas in March. March 16th, they will go to the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio.
Was it Joe and Harry's place? Is that what they called it?
Joe and Harry's place.
Freeman? I don't know.
Yeah.
There was some old
I went to a Monday Night Raw there years and years and years and years and years ago. But so anyway, AEW will be at Freeman Coliseum on March 16th, and then back in the beautiful ATX HEB Center at Cedar Park on March 23rd.
Might have to actually go this time.
I'll definitely go to that.
Well said.
Dustin Rhodes will maybe giving you a call.
Yeah.
Anyway, AEW back in Texas coming up in March. They got several events coming up. They're going to be in New Jersey soon, and I'm wondering when they're going to hit the West Coast. They haven't done the West Coast yet. I don't think.
West Coast is a little tighter on their COVID restrictions.
They are. Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is a mask mandate for Los Angeles County. So when I go for Radio Row for the Super Bowl, I'm going to be wearing a mask a lot of hours that day or that week. So,
hey, you got time to find one that fits right.
Yes. This week on AEW, again, we taped this on Tuesday. So by the time, if you hear this on the horn, if you're watching this on YouTube and Twitch, then it happens tomorrow night. If you hear this on the horn, then it's already happened. But making his return to AEW Dynamite, Jon Moxley.
Well,
he is going to get a huge pop.
Huge pop.
And there's been talk. There's been talk about him coming back and being a heel. And I'm going, there is no way on God's green earth that people are going to boo him.
I mean,
Never.
yeah, it's like if you make him a heel, you won't even change what he does.
Yeah. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. It's not
Unless
gonna
he
happen.
feuds with, unless he goes in and beats up Jungle Boy. You know,
I'm not even sure they boo him for that.
like I was gonna say Orange Cassidy, but then I was like, that's on the edge. But
yeah.
everyone loves Jungle Boy.
Yeah, they too. You know,
If he comes
one
out
half
just
of
like
the tag
bloodies up
champions
Jungle Boy,
with Luchasaurus.
then definitely heel stuff.
Yeah. Someone who might be a babyface, might be a heel. Cody Rhodes. Supposed to make an appearance, must appear on Dynamite. But apparently he is appearing without a contract. He is a free agent.
That is interesting, especially leading up to the Rumble.
Now, there's been a lot of talk, and there was, I heard somebody basically saying, I kind of subscribe to this. Look, if he doesn't show up on Dynamite, then there's something to it. If he shows up on Dynamite, they're just trying to work it out, and this is little more than at worst a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
At best, they're just getting the finer points. Yeah. I don't see. Look, Cody Rhodes is not going to be on the Rumble. There's not going to be an AEW wrestler at the Royal Rumble.
It would be the
not
shock of
Moxley,
all shocks.
Not Cody, not Dustin. There was the talk, with Mickie James being there as the Impact Wrestling Knockouts World Champion. Talk about somebody from on the men's side.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean the name that comes to mind the most is Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder.
But why?
Why not? Just to prove that they can open their doors too, I guess. They did it for Mickey. Why not?
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't think they're going to bring in somebody that has not been on WWE programming. Like,
right.
It would make total sense since you have the Knockouts World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well bring in the Impact World Champion, Moose.
Right.
But Moose has never been on WWE television.
Right.
So that's why I'm thinking Matt Cardona could be.
But yeah, you bring in a champion, though. And as much as I hate to say it, oh, man, this is like the worst insult. Whoever thought of this is like the meanest SOB in wrestling.
What's that?
Mid Cardona.
Cardona. Oh, man. That's rough.
Every time Moose says that.
Look,
oh, my God.
I tell you what, Cardona's been doing a hell of a job with everything with
yes.
with GCW, everything he's been doing with them and working NWA, working Impact.
Yeah.
And
but that is the most insulting thing you're going to come up with. And I'm like, if you're going to bring in the Knockouts champion, you're not going to bring in, quote-unquote, Mid Cardona to be your surprise entrant. That's what I was thinking. If they do it, there's no one left. Is there anyone left in AEW on the men's side that would be worth bringing over that has been on WWE TV?
No, Jericho. Jericho's
no, Impact.
Oh, in Impact?
Yeah.
Let's see. Brian Myers. There's Rich Swann. Yeah, he's been there.
Like neither one of them. No. Exactly.
Not W. Morrissey.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, that's a tough ask.
That's what I was thinking. If they do it, it would be someone from AEW.
Nah, they're not going to bring anybody from AEW.
But if they did, it would be someone like Jericho.
Could be. Yeah.
And they've had the crossover with, was it Steve Austin's podcast or a TV show? What was it?
Yeah, it was Broken Skulls. They had Jericho on Broken Skulls. Yeah,
they've had that crossover
when
already.
He was, as a member of the AEW roster.
So that would make him the most likely.
It would, but I don't think it's going to.
And it would be the biggest pop.
Would be.
Yeah,
it sure would. Yeah.
So if
especially
if
he, instead of coming out to his Y2J music, it comes out to Judas.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be funny.
Yeah,
that would be funny.
I heard Mickie James is going to come out to her hardcore country.
I hope she comes out to hardcore country and wears the Knockouts title.
I hear she will.
Which, hey, let's have it. Yeah,
if you're going to do it, go all the way, man.
Absolutely.
They actually said the words on TV, so don't hide the belt.
Yeah, I agree. Eddie Kingston expected to be out for the next 3 weeks or so. Fractured an orbital bone.
Wow, only 3 weeks?
During Saturday's AEW Dark tapings in Orlando. He's hoping to be back in 3 weeks. We'll see if it's 3 weeks or it might be longer.
Dude, Eddie Kingston wearing some kind of facial protective mask would be fun.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
Could be interesting. Yeah. It's kind of funny. He's going to take time off with Moxley coming back. Because it was those two as a tag team.
Right.
So we've had Kingston without Moxley. Now we're going to have Moxley without Kingston.
Well, I think Moxley would be okay, but Kingston without Moxley was getting a little stale. I look up and I just see him like arguing with people. And I'm like, what's the problem now?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it is kind of odd.
Like, why are you fighting Jericho? This makes no sense.
Yeah, I get you. But I mean, let's hope that Eddie Kingston has a full and speedy recovery.
Yeah,
and gets back whenever he can get back.
And
whether
they figure
it's
out
3
something
weeks
better
or
to do
what.
with him when he comes back.
This whole thing with 2.0 and Daniel Garcia and Jericho and Kingston, I'm not. It doesn't thrill me much.
Yeah, and it's just been recent that I've realized that 2.0 and the Hybrid 2 aren't the same. That's what I thought the 2.0 was. They just evolved the name. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
They're two totally different teams. And yeah, it's. I mean, I like that 2.0 has been going after Kingston. I like that 2.0 has been going after Jericho. I'm not crazy about the whole the infighting between Jericho and Kingston.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like,
So, I mean, this orbital thing may be a good thing for him.
Yeah,
because then they can figure out something better to do with him. Maybe while Jericho goes on his cruises.
Well, he postponed his cruise.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not going to be until
Probably a good idea.
I think March or April of next year, 2023.
Smart move.
Yeah. He just had one like in October. So, yeah, I think it'd be good for him to wait just a tad longer to
look, if I can't go on my 311 cruise, I got to wait till next year. You guys need to settle down and wait.
I know.
This COVID thing is not slowing down.
Yeah, going on cruises right now just isn't the best.
And they use the same ship that my 311 cruise uses.
They do, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, listen, and wrestling fans aren't going to stay away. They're not going to wear masks.
No.
So I'm like, you bozos, I need my rooms clean before going on.
I'm
not Norwegian Pearl, by the way.
The Norwegian Pearl.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've been on a cruise. It's been at least 15 years. I like them. You couldn't get me on a cruise ship right now, though.
Yeah. I don't know what people do during the day on a regular cruise or during the night. The one I went on, it was like a reggae festival.
Go to the bar.
It was like ACL, like every night.
Yeah.
Like 5-7 different bands playing. You had to figure out who you're going to watch at what time.
Hey, you just go to the bars. Hit the bars, bar hop a little bit.
I don't really drink, so that bores me.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. So they had a piano club on I guess it was Carnival that I went on. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah. They usually have comedians or something.
Yeah. So first one I went on, the comedian had an actual WCW United States title belt with him.
Really?
Yeah. The old school, old style.
Nice.
Oh, it was so nice. It was really cool. Very cool. So we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll let you know what's happening in independent wrestling around the area. You're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, and you're listening to The Horn, where Austin talks wrestling.
And cruises, apparently. Talk about
and
a tangent.
Cruises.
Talk about a tangent.
Hey, what the hell?
In Albuquerque.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is the Soraya. So they're gonna bring her from NXT UK to NXT, I guess.
Okay.
Sure. I can conquer the world. Oh,
I'm surprised
nice.
that she's the choice. We just watched it last week. There was a, I don't even remember her name now. I guess made a big impression. They called her the fashionista, I think. Oh, whatever.
Are you talking about the was it Tiffany, whatever? She's the
Maybe.
daddy's rich girl
No,
or
no,
something?
No. This is a character in NXT UK.
Oh, okay.
She's British, but I think she's like of Indian descent. Kind of tall and lean. They called her like the fashionista. And I can't remember her name. I looked her up last week. Hang on, let me see if she's in my search history.
Yeah.
Jenny.
Jenny?
Yeah.
I don't watch
Jenny
NXT UK.
Sanjay. She'd be I think if you're gonna bring someone over, she'd be a good choice.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've seen her. Seen her somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you got
I
Legado
didn't get
del
to see her wrestle.
Fantasma taking on
The
two guys in a quarterfinals match.
Yeah, those two guys whose names no one can remember.
So it'll be Legado del Fantasma.
Should be, but those guys shouldn't even.
I don't care what they want to call him. I still see him as DJZ, my Ion.
All right then.
So, all right, let's
Tell
do
you,
this.
Electra Lopez.
What?
That woman is hot.
She's got some hotness to her.
Yeah.
And she's sturdy, too.
That she is.
Very sturdy. All right, let's do last segment. Here we go.
It's like,
Back on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Eddie Cross filling in for Justin Smith Simmons.
that's right.
Uh,
No mustache.
hopefully we see Sami Callihan back soon. He's been recovering from, I think it was a broken leg or something.
Ugh.
So hopefully we'll see him back. Yeah, I know he promoted. He had his promotion, Pro Wrestling Revolver, had a show over the weekend in Iowa. Hopefully we'll see him back on Impact pretty soon, because I don't know. I think they're missing him a little bit. So
Yeah. I agree.
yeah. So
But I do like the thing they're doing with the ROH invasion. That could
yeah,
be
that's
good.
been interesting.
That could be
It's
good.
the only problem I have with it is that you got Matt Taven and Vincent on the same side again, because they were battling each other,
Well, you know,
like fiercely battling each other. Now they're on the same side,
hard times make strange
kind of
bedfellows.
like the New Kingdom with the OGK, and it's just weird. So and then apparently PCO has signed a deal with Impact.
Dude, I thought he about killed D'Lo.
53 years old, the man's still going.
The man's still flying.
Whew. He is something else. We've got some cards to tell you about that's happening around the state of Texas. We're going to start in Sherman. Texoma Pro Wrestling presents It Has Begun Friday at the Elks Lodge in Sherman. Bell time 8 p.m. Charlie Haas will be there. Adam Asher, Jim Fitz, Promise Braxton, and more. That's Texoma Pro Wrestling this Friday night in Sherman. Hurricane Pro Wrestling presents Live Pro Wrestling Saturday at Ford Park in Beaumont. Bell time 7 p.m. Shane Taylor, Ryan Davidson, Taya Valkyrie, Jared Wayne, and more. That's Hurricane Pro Wrestling this Saturday in Beaumont. Reality of Wrestling travels north to Canton. They will have Live Pro Wrestling this Saturday at the Canton Civic Center in Canton. Bell time 7 p.m. Booker T returns to the ring in a tag match. Plus, you'll see Will Allday, Fly Def, Rachel Rose, and more. That's Reality Wrestling this Saturday in Canton. And then World Class Revolution has Have a Nice Day Saturday at Southern Junction in Irving. Bell time 7 p.m. The hardcore legend Mick Foley will be there. Jacob Fatu, Moonshine Mantell, Marty Bell, Brian Keith, and more. That's World Class Revolution this Saturday in Irving. As we always say, wherever you may be, go out and support independent wrestling. That World Class Revolution card should be a lot of fun. So
Yeah, that's big, man.
yeah,
Anytime you get Mick Foley, that's
a lot
huge.
of good ones. Yeah, plus Mick and Mick's just top notch. So
Where's Canton?
Canton? It's like southeast of Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been forever since I've been there, but I've been there. I think I stopped by an SWE show there at one time. So
Okay. Hopefully, I run into Booker at the UFC in Houston because I want to ask him about the ROW Kids Camp.
yes, yeah, they do that kids camp on occasion.
Hoping they have one coming soon. My niece wants to wrestle. Like
Reality
maybe,
of wrestling. I tell you what,
maybe Uncle Eddie can foot that bill.
they're always knocking it out of the park. So I need to get back down there. I need to get back down there to World Gym Arena and watch one of the tapings. Every time I see Will all day, he's telling me to come back down, or Ryan Davidson, or any of the ROW regulars. Now they got Izzy James and they got Moonshine Mantell. They got a lot of the great independent talent that's here in Texas. So anyway, GCW holding several events in February, including February 4th in Houston. And among those scheduled to appear, Mascara Dorada. You knew him as Gran Metalik, one half of Lucha House Party in WWE. So that'll be cool to have him showing up
Those guys scare me a little bit.
at GCW. Well, yeah, now you're going to add GCW. That's nuts. So. And before we let you go, the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, they're going to team up for the first time in 3 years, March 12th at Big Time Wrestling. It's their event in Webster, Massachusetts. Jeff and Matt, multiple-time WWE Tag Team Champions, Impact, Ring of Honor.
Wonder
Probably-
which characters they come out with.
Oh, I'm sure it'll just be Matt and Jeff.
Will it
But
be Team Extreme?
I bet you they'll be somewhat Team Extreme. So
Will there be some deletions?
could be. That'll do it for this week's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Eddie, tell everybody how they can find you on social media.
You can find me at Eddie Experience, 1 E in the middle. You can find our show at Fight Night ATX, pretty much everywhere.
And big thanks to Eddie for joining us. You can follow Justin Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. He should be back next week. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central, or you can catch us Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central on the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns. We are the Horn, 104.9, 101.9 FM and AM 1260. You can also catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the On Air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate and review us while you're there. For Eddie, I'm Stu. Thank you so much for giving us part of your week. We will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go.
All right. Hey, I saw a thing the other day. I don't know if it was GCW or not, but they just had the ring was full of light tubes,
It may have been GCW.
and they would just like take one down, bash the guy on the back with it.
That could be
The other guy would take
GCW.
another one down, just bash him on the back with it.
Game Changer Wrestling does that.
It literally made my skin crawl just thinking of the shards.
Oh, it's nuts.
You know,
I
hitting
mean,
your skin.
I got reminded. Let's see. I guess it would have been. Today is the 18th.
Yes.
So I think it was 2 years ago today. I was invited to be the guest ring announcer when GCW came to Austin.
Cool.
It was. There were some scary moments.
I say, did you need like a clear umbrella around you?
It was kind of scary. I mean, you had like Nick Gage, you know,
Oh,
putting Alley Cat through a plate glass window, and you had it was nuts.
So much glass, man.
That's what they do,
I'd rather deal with the thumbtacks.
and people love it.
At least you can see those and pull it out.
Heck, they're going to do. They're working the Hammerstein Ballroom in Manhattan
That fits.
this weekend. Jeff Jarrett and Effie.
Wow.
So yeah,
Speaking of Jeff, you realize how old Impact is now?
20 years old.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk it when they were doing like weekly pay-per-views?
How many times have they almost died
Oh, more than the Horn.
as Impact or as Impact or as TNA? I mean, gee whiz, they have been. They've been sounding their death knell for a while, but
Talk about 9 lives.
man, they have survived, and now they're doing okay. I mean,
they survived. They survived.
they're putting on good shows. They had a hell of a main event or a hell of a pay-per-view this past weekend or last weekend in Dallas. So now they've gotten a little bit of help from New Japan Pro Wrestling with a lot of their guys taking excursions to the U.S.
There's so much time with empty arenas.
In fact, I think Gorillas of Destiny are supposed to show up in Impact in Florida.
Don't tease me.
That'd be awesome.
Don't tease me.
Love Tama and Tonga. You know, they're my boys.
Yeah. Been waiting on them to come over for forever.
Yeah. So may see them in Impact when they do their tapings in Florida next couple weeks.
That doesn't look like makeup at all.
Yeah, Solo Sakai, AKA the younger brother of Jimmy and Jey Uso.
Who's still the younger? What's supposedly happened to his face? Did he get
There was an
jumped?
attack last week, and it was that guy with the paint, and I forget his name, and I don't know. Anyway,
What's left of Tien Shaw?
yeah, the guy from Tien Sha. Yeah, so
Of course, the male's the only one that survives.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Because we have Dakota Kai taking on Something Leon.
They had a vignette.
Dakota Kai's
earlier.
been kind of spinning, kind of spinning around. She hadn't had much to do ever since Raquel Gonzalez. Well, I guess Raquel Gonzalez is still in NXT.
Yeah. But ever since their title match, she hasn't been seen much.
No. They've had her kind of spin her wheels. It almost wouldn't surprise me if she loses this.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Oh, man.
They just had a vignette earlier with a couple of these ladies, hyping them up. But I don't remember any of the names at all.
I don't.
Like, you can't keep bringing me new people and shoving them into the main event and expecting me to care.
Yeah.
I know it's developmental, but have them develop, earlier in the show.
I agree.
It's like every time the few times before they hit USA, you get to see NXT. There'd always be some random person that you've never seen before. But the rest of it, was huge, and the crowd was really into it. And then be that one match where everyone was like, I don't know who this is.
And that's going to be part of the problem.
Yeah, the problem
with
is
NXT 2.0
like
going
more
forward.
than half of it is like that.
Because you're no longer relying on independent talents and that type of thing that have a following, like War Machine, like some Ricochet, or even L.A. Knight, aka Eli Drake. You're not going to have that built-in fan reaction because you got a lot of these folks that they're your random athlete from a college somewhere,
They're literally off the street.
Yeah, I mean,
they've got as much experience as Dustin's guys.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. With somebody that's either going to the Rhodes Wrestling Academy or AAPW. Yeah, it's basically that, and so I don't know. I had a laugh. So a few weeks ago, our friends at What Culture Wrestling, and I pointed this out to Justin because Justin has the philosophy down pat that WWE is not It's not wrestling anymore. It's a show about a company trying to put on a wrestling show. And What Culture Wrestling did a column on that, on how WWE is not wrestling anymore.
It's like the show Glow.
It kind of, yeah, except not as wink wink absurd. You know,
Sometimes.
Glow was very aware that they were in their absurdity.
Yeah. They knew they were a B movie.
Problem is WWE isn't.
And the fact that they get so much money from the Middle East and from NBC, they don't have to care.
And Fox.
Yeah, Fox, USA.
Now
Peacock.
there was the rumor about how Fox was like almost ready to buy WWE, but the price tag was too high, so that's why they signed on for SmackDown.
I can't see Vince selling that ever. I know people keep saying
I
that's
know,
why they're cutting out.
but
They're cutting all these wrestlers.
I was going to say that's if you talk to those in the know, everybody's been saying that's what they're setting up for. They're setting up exactly so that they can be sold.
And that will be the beginning of the end.
I think so.
Well, actually, the beginning of the end was them taking the company public.
Yeah.
Because now all you're worried about is your shareholders. You're not so much worried about putting on a quality product. You're just worried about the back end numbers.
Yeah.
So putting on a
Right.
quality product comes second.
So
and
now-
I have the same problem with the UFC.
Yeah.
When
Their
they were
content
sold.
provider.
Yeah. They were sold.
That's it.
And now that company is worried about just paying off the debt that they got from purchasing them for like $4.2 billion. And now they're just a content provider for ESPN Plus.
Yeah, you're
Way
right.
too many events. Although that keeps me having something to talk about on my show.
Well, I mean, that's that's all I've been doing with, with this. Oh, there's Raquel Gonzalez. With this, I mean, when the pandemic first hit and everything else was shut down, still had wrestling.
Yeah. And
I mean, yeah, it
surprisingly-
was empty arena and Thunderdome and all that crap, but hey, it was still wrestling.
Yeah, and surprisingly still had UFC somehow
Yeah.
because they literally had their own type of Thunderdome with the UFC Apex.
Yeah.
And then they had Fight Island, which was
Fight
kind of a
Island.
cool thing. But yeah, and they're literally not going to go back to doing all their fight nights, not the pay-per-views, but just the regular kind of events. They're going to keep doing them in Vegas at the Apex because they save so much money on travel.
Makes
hotels. Why worried about the gate when you don't have to put up any of the other money?
Yeah, that's true.
And like I said, ESPN's paying them a buttload just to put on an event.
So why not?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's, NXT, they're no longer at Full Sail University now. They've taken everything in-house. They're at the Performance Center, so, I mean, I don't know. And as far as I know, they're not touring. So NXT back in the day would at least do a loop in Florida,
Right.
hit different towns. They're not doing that. So it's basically all you see is the Ring General.
Yes, Walter. Now, what about takeovers? Are there going to be takeovers?
They haven't had one.
Yeah, I don't know if they.
The first one what was it? Oh, what was it called?
the last
Was it Halloween Havoc?
No, it was,
Or maybe another one, but they didn't call it Takeover.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't feel like they have the star power for a big event anymore like that anymore.
Not
Now
not
that all
the
the
tour.
old-
No,
No, just like
there's
just
no
the-
way on God's green earth
just
they
for a
couldn't.
big takeover. They don't have the star power with all the old guard gone.
Yeah, they could. There is no way on earth they could fill an arena for this.
Yeah. No way.
I mean, I was at the Takeover before the Royal Rumble in, was it 2019?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, that was 2017.
Oh wow. The last couple of years didn't exist.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I was at Takeover before Royal Rumble in 2017 in San Antonio. And that was at Freeman Coliseum. They packed that place.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a show.
I believe it.
So, but yeah, there's no, there's no way they could do that. So, all right, we're going to sign off for now. Huge thanks to Eddie for joining me.
You bet.
As we said, Justin should be back next week. But yeah, have fun this week. Have a good